Welcome to El Pollo Local Music Review. I'm your host, Elmer Dinkley. This is my co-host,
Professor Skip.
Today we'll be talking to you about some of the most legendary music festivals of all time, like
The Monterey Pop Festival, Woodstock, and now the more modern ones like Vans Warped Tour, Tomorrowland, and Metro.
Let's start it off by sending it out to our field correspondent, Jose Gonzalez.
In June 16, 1967, the Monterey Pop Festival was considered the first major rock festival. It was a two-day music festival held at the Monterey County Fairgrounds in Monterey, California. Famous bands such as The Who and Ravi Shankar performed in this amazing music festival. In this music festival, Jimi Hendrix performed one of the phenomenal events ever. Thousands of people who have gone to see this amazing talented man perform his song Wild Thing. During his performance, he set his guitar on fire on stage, and moments later, he started smashing his guitar into pieces. It later became one of the most defining moments in the history of music festivals.
Thanks, Jose. I didn't know that about Jimmy. He was in Woodstock, right?
That's right, and here are a few highlights of Woodstock. Woodstock was a music festival billed as an Aquarian exposition, 3 days of peace and music. It was held in the Catskills near the hamlet of White Lake in the town of Bethel, New York from August 15th to August 18th. During the sometimes rainy weekend, 32 acts performed outdoors before an audience of 500,000 young people. It is widely regarded as a pivotal moment in popular music history. Rolling Stones listed it as one of the 50 moments that changed the history of rock and roll. The festival is also widely considered to be the definite nexus of the larger countercultural generation. Jimi Hendrix was the last act to perform at the festival at 8:30 on Monday morning.
It's crazy. I didn't know that.
I'm sure you didn't. That's why we're educating the masses.
For our next segment, we're going to catch up with Rog Pagan and the legendary George Wine.
Thanks, Professor Skittles. On the line with me, I have the legendary George Wine, the founder of the legendary Newport Jazz Festival. How you doing today, George?
I'm good.
That's great. Could you tell us a little bit about what motivated you to start the Newport Jazz Festival?
Well, in 1954, I was hired by this couple called the Lorleards to bring a jazz act to the town of Newport, Rhode Island.
That's great, George, and thank you for that. Could you tell us if there's any other projects you've worked on that you've contributed to?
Well, I've worked on multiple projects, but the two most successful are the Newport Jazz Festival and the Newport Folk Festival, which both came about in the time of the blues revival era in the 1960s. Those are the most successful and basically the first of their kind.
If I may ask, George, why Newport, Rhode Island?
Well, that's where I was hired to put on the show. In 1972, though, we moved to New York, and we held two site festivals while maintaining our Newport location, and continued under the name in New York as the JVC Jazz Festival.
Thank you so much for your time, George. Back to you guys at the lounge.
Very informative.
Indeed. We've looked at the older music festivals. Let's go to Kevin Tobias with the newer music festivals to give us the lowdown of...
It's rundown.
The rundown of Vans Warped Tour.
I'm Kevin Tobias, and I'm doing a short segment on Warped Tour, a personal favorite of mine. I'm going to give you a brief little history on it. It all started in 1995 with Kevin Lyman. It mainly had punk bands in attendance when it first started out in 1995. But then in later years, it changed up. Like in 2011, Yellow Wolf was in attendance on tour. Also, in 2012, Kevin expanded it and took the Warped Tour on a 2-day Europe tour. And it's about the first time they ever did that, and it was a huge success. A lot of people came out, a lot of revenue, and expanded a whole new market for this kind of music. Nowadays, they have different kind of bands and genres. It's not mostly punk anymore. It's more new metal, metalcore bands and stuff. And this year, there's supposed to be over 100 bands in attendance. The Warped Tour is on July 27th in Orlando, and I hope to see you guys there. And that's all for me.
That was amazing, Kevin. Thanks for giving us such an in-depth look at such a wild and crazy event.
Alright, now that we've taken a look at the rock scene, let's go to EDM and Violetta with Diplo.
Oh, thank you, Professor Skittles. My name is Violetta, and I'm here to talk about Diplo. So his name is actually Thomas Wesley Pence. He's 35 years old, and he is a producer, a songwriter, a rapper, and he has his own record label company, which is called Matt Deason. Matt Deason started in 2005, and since 2005, it has already gone over 60 to 100 artists. He's expanded his label to throwing parties like Matt Deason Block Party, which is held in around 50 states in the United States, and also it's come to major as a boat party, Matt Deason Boat Party, which is pretty cool. So Major Lazer is consisting of 3 people, which is Jillionaire, Walshifair, and Diplo, and they're bringing new genres to EDM like reggae and just different they're bringing different genres into EDM and they're mixing it up, and I think I'm done here. Thank you.
Outstanding, Violetta. Thank you. Well, folks, that concludes our broadcast for the first and only installment of El Pollo Loco.
Thanks for joining us, and remember guys, don't be a Richard.
That's right. And with that in mind, practice saved musical festival techniques. Peace.